Thanks for coming. I read a few weeks ago that it was easier to learn French than understanding a French guy speaking English. I hope that you will succeed in this. Few words and few slides before starting, and a quick introduction. I mean, I'm really happy to welcome my dear Elisa from Gedi and Domenico from Italiaonline. But yeah, just a few words about this buzzword, the first-party data. We are all mixing stuff in the market, first-party data, first-party cookie, and so on. There's a lot of different concepts, and I would like to start by a few slides. It's obviously our vision and our definition of what is first-party data strategy. Few words before about 1+6. So we are a Swiss company. We've been acquired now a few months ago by TripleLift, one of the leading SSP on the market. And the goal is obviously to keep separated business and separate activities, but to offer to publishers a kind of one-stop shop when it comes to sell media. That's the business of TripleLift, and qualify better audiences, content, and that's our business and our, I would say, expertise. So jumping back to the first-party data strategy, so the central point is obviously your audience as a publisher and your content as a publisher, which are at the end two separated concepts. But when it comes to talk about data and qualification, it becomes central, and it's time to merge. So first-party data for us, you have different prerequisites as a publisher. The first one is you need to have specific tools, I would say, intelligence to extract what is unique in terms of data for you as a publisher. What makes you unique? It's about the context, it's about the content, and it's about all the user knowledge and behavior. The second point is obviously you need to combine different approaches together. I will skip the cookieless buzzword, but for sure, market is changing actually, and if you want to perform and if you want to keep the same level of business and reach, obviously, daily reach for sure, to find the platforms, it's really important to combine all the available approaches take on the market dynamically, ideally in real time, to be able to keep the same level of reach and to do your business as publisher daily, and these short terms, mid terms, and long terms, obviously. The goal, I mean, one of the goals is obviously to increase your revenue and to optimize your campaigns with a better knowledge of both content and user-based data. When we think about, I mean, when we talk about data, there are different needs. The needs on the demand side and the needs on the supply side are a bit different, but you need as media group to keep and to stay connected with the market needs, basically the agency need, the marketers needs, and to keep also a strong link with your audiences, because at the end, the reason why people are coming to the internet is to go to those guys' websites and not especially to the Coca-Cola app and so on, even if it's a really cool app. So you need to balance your data strategy. You need to balance into your needs and the market needs. And today, thanks to the data clean room, that's another topic, we can turn all the data collaboration you have as a publisher today, not often really fair, to be honest. You are able to turn all those data collaboration in a fair one with this data clean room concept, avoiding the data leakage and not having an explicit access to the data of your partner. So that's, in a nutshell, what we call the first-party data strategy, and this is one of the pillars we are working on to help our clients. There's different use cases around. The first one is obviously the acquisition. So the goal and the daily job of a media group is to create great content. We can't definitely help on this, but once they have created this great content, we can help them understanding better their audiences to find a bit their user acquisition, so having more people consuming your content. The second point, when you have all those guys on your properties, is to keep them on board. So turning them into, from the users to a subscriber is a thing, and the other one is to personalize the content, to turn them, I mean, consuming 1, 2, 3 pages instead of just one article, keeping them on board. And the last point is obviously the monetization strategy, which is central, and that's the reason why data is so passionate, because it's central in the organization, and this really helps every single business unit working together into the same, in the same direction. To talk about those nice topics, yes, once again, I'm really glad to welcome Elisa Maria. Do you want to introduce yourself quickly, or do you want me to do?
You can do it.
Yeah, cool. Elisa is one of the great experts on the internet market, and she is head of the data strategy, but also managed the analytics, the reporting, and Domenico from Italiaonline. Yeah, great expert as well, and responsible for the data and innovation projects. And sorry, I forgot to introduce myself. I'm responsible for the expansion of 1+6 in the South European market. So, a few questions to start. Elisa, what is your definition of the first-party data strategy? That's the point. And how do you design this daily in your daily job?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, works. So I think this is a big area, and it entails, for me, 3 steps. First is thinking data first, which means that when we are thinking about our data sources and platforms we work with, we have to think data at the beginning. Sometimes when we work with data, they always come out at the end, right? They are a sub-product of some other technology we're using. And what we're trying to do right now at Gedi, also like with the help of technology like 1+X, is embedding data and the usage we want to do with data at the beginning of the process. So when we include a new technology, when we have a new site or a new platform or a new property, we tend to think what we want to do with this data and bring them into a broader ecosystem. And then the other things we do is working on data collection and matching data, so trying to combine data from different sources in a seamless way so that we can leverage them with marketing strategy, and of course also the sales house which monetizes them. And then of course is about what we want to do with data. So first you have to think where are the data coming from and how they're coming to the platform. Then you have to think how you collect and how you mesh them. And of course you have to think about how you want to use them. So what are the use cases that you want to build out of this data? So when I think about first-party data strategy, is all about these 3 things together. And the way we make it happen is working on 2 major areas, which is, of course, content, which is crucial for us, as we were saying before. We are building content, and those are our mine of data, mine of information about what users are interested into, but also our bridge to communicate with users and to relate to them. And then on the other hand, of course, technology, which is another big area and part of our first-party data strategy, is when we have all this data, how we put them all together and bring them in a meaningful way. So I think this is how I see it. I don't know if it makes sense.
Totally. Would be interested also to have your opinion about,
yes,
definition.
I agree with Elisa. In our vision, Prova? Okay. Basically, I agree with Elisa, with this vision. In our vision, first-party data means first-party relationships. Maybe we are romantic people, but data are not only cold numbers, but from our point of view, data are the words through which we can talk to our customers, the way to build and create strong relationships with them. As you know, Italiaonline is a digital ecosystem including mixed properties, not only editorial properties, but also email and community services. We have online directories, we have vertical comparables, classifieds, we have product and service marketplaces, and all the user interactions across this network for us are signals that we can get, we can capture, and increase the knowledge of our users. Bastien asked how we design the data strategy daily. Basically, our data strategy relies on 3 pillars. The first one is to, as Elisa and Bastien said, is get user data. We get user data through registrations to our portals, to our services. We get user data through newsletter sign-ups. We offer premium and special contents like ebook, special interview, or video tutorials to our customers in exchange of data, in exchange of logins. Our customers can leverage on our single sign-on system. We have a system very similar to the social logins, that is Libero Connect on Libero domains and Virgilio Connect on Virgilio domains, but we have a single sign-on system, so our user can sign up and sign in with one click, can do actions, can do purchases with one click. The other part of data is behavioral data, and we get behavioral data from on-site activities. So the searches, the purchases. We have a huge quantity of purchase guides, so we are also able to capture the purchase intent of our users. This is why it's very important to design a rich user experience and an engagement model that is based on value exchange, because the more value you put in the relationship with the customer, the more data and the more value you have back.
So I understood that one of the pillars earlier in the deck was that you need to qualify and to extract what is unique for you, but you also use those data to create some unique experience daily, right?
Of course.
That's it, okay.
We create personalized experience. We use data in marketing automation. We use data to upsell, cross-sell, to provide recommended contents or to customize the user experience, the website layout. And we are happy to do that, because if you put data in value in the relationship, you have value back. The second pillar is about data processing. And it's killer the real-time data processing, because thanks to real-time data processing, you can gain valuable insights, and you can build rich first-party audience segments. We have a customer data platform. We have a data management platform. You can guess which data management platform we have. And they are the core infrastructure, the very heart of our data strategy. We think that data, as Elisa was saying, the challenge is not only to acquire data, but to activate them. Otherwise, data would be only a cost center, but data, in our vision, must be a profit center.
Thanks for precising.
It's good. Profit sense. Otherwise, our CFO beats us, is not happy, because hey, you are wasting petabytes of storage, and which are the revenues that you are generating.
Next year, we will invite your boss of your CFOs, guys.
CFO, okay.
To discuss this.
So the third pillar, the third stage of our strategy is data activation. Data activation in two ways. Basically, the first one we already talked about, because it's the customization of the user experience for our readers, for our visitors. The second one is to use data to boost the performance of the advertising campaigns of our clients. We have we have a very rich, strong data offer based on user data and contextual data. And of course, the activation when you use data is very much higher than the spray and pray approach.
Thanks for your answer. So earlier today, I mentioned that we were a bit lost in different concepts: first-party data, first-party cookies, third-party data, third-party cookies, and we often mixed all those concepts together. So behind this, I would like to understand. Third-party cookies are disappearing, so that's a topic. And the other topic, one of the good big trends at the moment, is first-party data strategy. how to qualify better audiences and so on. Why do you think that the disappearance of the third-party cookie, which are at the end just the containers, I mean just IDs, accelerate the need for the publishers to qualify more on a more precise way content audiences? How do you link those two concepts, which are at the end pretty far from the other?
Yeah, I think we've been hearing about this third-party cookie maelstrom coming our way for a couple of years now, and it's been a little bit postponed. But in some way, it is already there, because we know there are players in the market, like a browser like Safari or Firefox, which are already not allowing the usage of third-party cookies. So I think the disruption that's coming to the market is pushing us to think about what we can do with the data of users we know firsthand. And this will change the way also the advertising ecosystem works, because traceability will be reduced, addressability will be reduced in the overall market. So on one hand, this is something that's really changing the landscape of the technology in the advertising market. But from our perspective, it's also an opportunity, because we are publishers and we have many properties, and we build a relationship, like Domenico was saying, with our users through the way they consume our content. So we know how they are and what they like and what they engage with and what they don't like. And this is something we observe firsthand. So we don't need to have someone else outside telling us what they do, because we can measure and see that ourselves. So this is a great opportunity for us to value this data that they are bringing to us, and also to value them for the advertising ecosystem, because in this way, publisher can become a one-stop shop where we have information about the users that clients want to address. So I think this is an opportunity for us if we are ready to kind of surf on this wave that is coming our way. And the way I see this happening is with better technology, as I said before, but also with the nurturing work with audiences. So I think it's important to move more and more of our users from anonymous, unrelated users that randomly browse our site once in a while into loyal users that build a relationship with us, that are known to us, that are revealed to us because we offer to them an added value to their experience. So I think this is how we can leverage this change, and we can leverage first-party data through knowing better our users, giving them value proposition for them to log in. So moving the strategy from unknown users traced in the market with third-party cookies to known users that we know very well, we know what they do, and we can, of course, on one hand, offer them more value in terms of content, in terms of better products, in terms of better experience, of course, to gather interest from their subscription and monetize them through that way, but also building value for our clients in the advertising space, because this knowledge that we build through content and through the user consumption can really bring value to them as well. So I think that the way publishers can bring something important to this change in the market is through knowledge of the users. And I think we are in a very good position to do that. And we're in a very good position to build an ecosystem that traces the users on the different platforms to monetize them and value them on one side with a better product, better offer, so like improving the users' experiences, but also on the other hand, become better and monetizing them in a different way, which is not just like throwing cookies at the market, but just like finding values on our side as publishers. So this is how I personally see it.
Yeah, you're right on the point that you get this audience knowledge as a publisher. Daily, all those users are coming to consume your content. And I have the feeling that with the disappear of the third-party cookie comes the disappear of the third-party data. And then the demand side there's a big chance that they will become a bit blind, more blind. And you masterize the audience knowledge. And we can even imagine that at a certain moment, they will go to you, let's say Fiat, and they say, okay, I have these campaigns, I have these topics, I have this goal. Please do the targeting, please do the matching with your audience needs, because you masterize and you know those audience better than me. What do you think, Domenico?
Definitely, cookieless and addressability in a cookieless world is a very hot topic in our industry. As I agree with Elisa, I don't think that it will be the end of the world, but actually it will be the start, the beginning of a new era. I think that we have a very great opportunity to rebuild and rewrite the foundations, the source code of data-driven advertising. Let's not forget that cookies were born 25 years ago to store items in a shopping cart. So I think that we asked a lot to these poor cookies. It's time to do an upgrade. It's not only a technical upgrade, but it's a big paradigm shift. In a cookieless world, publishers should focus on different solutions to make its own media addressable and then appealing to clients. Basically, we have two ways. The first one is based on first-party data, social demo, purchase intent, behavioral data. We are full of data nowadays. It's not we have abundance of data today. The second one is the contextual based approach. Here it's a consentless, a cookieless, and ID-less solution by definition, by default. Here you are targeting the real interest of the readers in that moment.
A question, jumping back on this, what is the balance today in your monetization strategy daily between the
we use
contextual and user-based?
We use an holistic approach. We have a combination of the two approach. It depends on the use cases. It depends on the client needs. We usually use both according to the stage of the funnel. For upper funnel, you can use contextual and little data for prospecting, for instance. But as you go down in the funnel, in the engagement part or conversion part, we use much data. By the way, clients, as you know, are also asking for brand suitability, for brand safety, for relevant premium relevant content, and so the contextual analysis is underpinning all the funnel. So I don't have a balance, but we mix the two approaches according to the client needs.
So I won't have any numbers, right?
Sorry?
So you won't give any numbers, right? Thank you.
We are holistic. If you are holistic...
Sure. Sure. Sorry. A question for you, Elisa, because we discussed a lot about the monetization strategy, but I have the feeling that the data topics, the first-party data strategy, and so on, don't only concern monetization, but it's really a central topic in the organization. How this, in terms of organization, how this works today at Gedi, for example?
So I think we have several challenges coming from these changes in the ecosystem, also as a publisher, not just as a sales house. And that entails the fact that there are certain things we cannot do anymore, like I was saying before. For instance, cross-domain tracking or tracking users on certain specific browsers is not possible anymore. So the fact that we are going to see this change and the reduction of addressability is going to impact us with a loss of data potentially, right? We have less information, we can track less deeply, and this poses a challenge to us. So what can we do also, like from a publishing perspective, to do better content with less data? I think like the opportunity is to focus on the right data. So on one hand, we want to focus on pieces of technology that help us bridge the gap. So help us understand when the user is the same user across all properties. And then, of course, when we have this data, we can do multiple things. also specific to like the consumption of content for the users. Domenico was talking about contextual, but with the data that we have and with the right data ecosystem where we can leverage this data, we can do multiple algorithms and data models that can help us value the experience of the users. We can improve content delivery, we can improve personalization, we can improve models of offers because we better know the preferences of the user, so we can do propensity, we can do specific targeting of the users also for editorial purposes. And then on the other hand, as I said before, the challenge is to convert these users into non-users, because when we know them well, we can do multiple things with them. We can develop customized content, we can offer them content that's more relevant to their specific interests, and we developed in the past year and a half a lot of offers working on this vertical interest of the users. We launched the content hubs in the past 2 years, focusing on food and beverage, on technology, on fashion. So all these environments that we can use to better understand the user's interest, and then to value them with a specific selling proposition to the users. But this is not just about selling advertisement, but also offering an editorial proposition that is more rounded around what are the relevant interests of the users. So this is how we are trying to get across this change, is valuing our first-party data to have a better offer, which means better content, more fulfilling for the user when it comes to our site and wants to read something. It will find relevant information, relevant updates about the topics they're interested in. So I think this is how we can also, as publisher, work on this, and then ultimately shifting a little bit the monetizing model from pure advertising, as it used to be in the past, into a more long-term relationship like the subscription model is bringing to us.
So if I understand well, so there is no more black or white strategy between subscription strategy and monetization. That's now more subscribers could help advertising strategy, and the contrary as well. And the goal at the end is to offer different level of experience, I would say.
Absolutely.
On the advertising side for the different user and level of interaction with the brands, I guess. A very last question for you, and you just have one word to answer.
Holistic.
That's too holistic? No. Now let me ask a question before. Agnostic and holistic. Okay.
Agnostic, holistic. We are so holistic that we also use lookalike modeling. We mix lookalike modeling in our strategy.
You're shitting.
No?
You're so if you just have, what is your favorite alternative to the third-party cookie?
First-party data.
Yeah, logged in users.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks everyone for joining.